Hey everybody, it's your boy, me, Eggman, the Yoke Lord. 18 wins in a row, how about that? Putting together a nice little streak here, mostly because we've had just an incredibly blessed assortment of items so far. Assortment of seeds, I should say. NGF9, KFPK. I don't know why 9, I always want to say it as a letter. Like, something wrong with my brain. I think. I consider myself pretty good when it comes to, like, you know, linguistics and verbal stuff. Verbal stuff, I guess, is probably not the word you'd be looking for there, but something about, like, the alphanumeric sequence of things. I don't know. It gets me sometimes. You may hear a little crying baby in the background. It's okay, it's not my baby. I'm just joking. Wouldn't that be weird if it was just someone else's baby? No, that's our baby. But I feel the need to say this because people on YouTube, they're probably more protective of animals than they are of babies, but they're still very protective of babies, which makes sense. My wife is looking after the baby. Sometimes the baby do be crying, though. You know what I mean? You know, she's hungry. The bottle's being warmed up. It, you know, creates a situation where there's a little period of intermittent warbles, if you will. Should stop momentarily. Because I'll tell you, babies are not complicated, at least in the newborn phase. You know, when an adult is crying, I feel like the solution to that problem is very, very difficult. I think that's why it's very tough to see another adult cry, because for the most part, you're like, oh, this is a symptom of an underlying issue that's going to be a little bit more complicated in order to solve. When you see a baby crying, literally, it could be, like, inconsolable. It's like, this is the worst I've ever felt in my entire life. You give it the bottle, or you start feeding, and the baby instantly snaps into, like, oh, this is good stuff. This is what it's all about right here. I've never been this happy before. It's wild, man. It's, again, I'm a little... people say babies can be kind of complicated, but... I mean, look, again, we've been parents for, like, less than 3 weeks hither to this point. I wouldn't say we got it all figured out necessarily, but I really feel like, you know, at some point you just sort of, you know, when a baby cries, you test its physiological needs. Is there a wet or dirty diaper? Are they hungry? You know, do they just need soothing, etc., etc.? And if you can't solve the problem like that, I think you just gotta accept, like, the baby do be crying. You know, you just gotta steel yourself to the idea that, you know, maybe you're used to looking for solutions for problems, and, you know, in the adult world that actually is a very sensible course of action, but in the baby world, you know, as long as the physiological needs of your child are accounted for, sometimes they do just be crying. That's where we're at right now. Now, I hear it gets harder. Like, I wouldn't say I'm dreading it, because I'm looking forward to all of it, but... You know what's nice about having a newborn is there's, like, no arguments whatsoever, right? I also feel like, you know, we haven't taken the baby out in public, because you're not really supposed to take a baby out in public, I guess, until they're, like, at least a month old, so they get a little chance to... you know, develop, I don't know, some kind of resistance to the outside world. I'm just going by what my wife says, which is what the books say, okay? Do your own research, sweetie. Regardless, I feel like when a newborn cries, even the most cynical edgelord on earth is like, you know, that's what babies do. They cry. What are you supposed to do? Now, when a toddler cries, or, like, even older than a toddler cries, I think that's where, when you're out in public, you start to... And I don't think it's fair, but I think that's where you start to be judged a little bit. I think that's where, you know, people might be like, you know, hey, oh, what did you do that made this child so moody, you know? I don't think it's fair, but it is what it is. Now, I'll tell you... You know, I think one of the reasons that maybe because you hate to see in public a situation where like a kid's crying or something like that and the parent gives in, and you know why they're giving in. They're giving in because they're embarrassed that the kid is throwing like a scene in public. So they're like, fine, if you'll be quiet, I'll just give you what you want. I think that personally, I'm well insulated against that because I cannot be embarrassed in public as a result of my profession. I already embarrass myself in public. I mean, this is digitally, but, you know, my face is attached to it just about every single day. So, I mean, nothing this child could do in public, you know, screaming, crying, throwing a tantrum, stomping her feet, it could never cause me to be more publicly embarrassed than, like, just the average day of streaming. You gotta remember, I'm exposed to anonymous feedback and criticism every single day of my life. You gotta get the nuclear launch codes to my psyche if you want to embarrass me, you know? You can't just be like, wah, wah. I'm like, yeah, wah, wah. You know, you sound like chat when I forget where the black market is. I'm telling you, I think I got a built-in advantage there. I think I've got a little extra defense towards, you know, not spoiling my child. I hope that's the case at least, because like you can't really spoil a newborn. I just want to see if maybe we can get like magic mush here. You can definitely. I don't know when the earliest age you can spoil a child is, but definitely it's like, you know, I'm pretty sure it starts to happen around the toddler age. That's how you end up with the, oh man, My Super Sweet 16. You ever see that show? It's again, it's kind of a dated reference, but it was a show that used to be on MTV, and they knew what they were doing. You know, it was not a show where you were gonna, they kind of like were the pioneers of rage watching. This is also how the show like The Simple Life with Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie became popular. You know, it's not a show you watch and go like, oh, these are two cool, relatable people that, like, I'm happy to be watching. You watch it and you go like, oh, look at these idiots, I hate them. But also, yeah, I'll be here Thursday at 8 next week to see, oh, they're gonna work at a donut shop. I wonder how they'll screw this one up, right? My Super Sweet 16 was kind of like part of that first generation of rage watching as well. It was basically like, I feel bad because, you know, they're kids. But you watch the show, you don't really feel like the kids are spoiled, for sure. But you really watch the show and you go like, man, parents, what are you doing? Kids will be like, you know, you're 16. I get it. You can only turn 16 once in your life. I don't really think it's that big of a deal, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just not tapped into that side of the culture. But 16-year-old kids who are literally like, well, first off, it's a given that I'm gonna get like a luxury car for my birthday, so I'd really ideally like to get like a Ferrari, but Daddy, I understand if you can only get me like, you know, a Porsche Carrera, or a Lamborghini Urus, you know, a Porsche bottle, a Lamborghini glass, I don't give a dang. And they would have these like grand plans, you know? There's like, oh, and I want there to be like all the Disney princesses there, and I want, you know, they would like, it's just absurd the lengths that they would go to plan these parties. And you know what? With Eye of Belial, let's do it. And I hate to say it, but the dads would be like, yes, dear, anything for my princess. And you're like, man, you are setting the whole world up to deal with a monster later. I'm not saying, like, it's your kid. I'm not, when the kid is in your house, if they become spoiled and demanding, I feel bad for you. But eventually, like, that kid is going to become an adult and they may find themselves in a workplace. I don't know. It depends, I guess, on how much of the estate is left over after you pay for their $475,000 16th birthday party. And you're really creating a monster for society at that point, you know? I think you got an obligation as a parent to introduce, you know, boundaries. I think it's very easy to say yes all the time, but it's, you know, well, I mean, if you got the capital... Oh, you don't want to fly out of here? What are you doing? If you got the capital to throw that birthday party, at least. I don't know. Maybe it's easy for me to say, because for whatever reason, you know, I never really had those ambitions as a child. You know, I was never like, oh, you know... I get that it's not so much like a teenage boy thing. A teenage boy stereotype might be more like, you know, I'm gonna get like an old muscle car and fix it up or something like that, but... I didn't really dream about that stuff when I was younger, for sure. So when I see somebody so attached to like their fantasy of what a day is gonna be like, it's a little unusual to me, but I understand it is fairly common. I don't know, man. Anyway, is that show still on the air? Because we are reworking our cable package, and I'd like more channels to watch, especially while there's no hockey on, because you know the season may not come back for another. I mean, it could be a long time. It could be January, February. Who knows? But you know, I really like. I've been watching a lot of Netflix. Don't get me wrong. I think I could subsist on just Netflix if possible. Occasionally, I do like to check out the TLCs, My Strange Addiction, My Feet Are Killing Me, Dr. Pimple Popper. Those shows, I don't know if you've ever seen them. My Feet Are Killing Me is basically a show where, you know, people... I hate to say, because it's, you know, it's gonna offend you, I think, and, you know, that's okay. We can get through it together. But it's really a show that feels like it could only really exist in a country where... You know, people don't want to go to the doctor for whatever reason. Maybe because it's expensive, I guess, is the most likely one. But, or they, you know, they don't have the time to get off work to do it or whatever. But there's literally a show where I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. It's literally a show where people will be like, "Hey, doctor, I'm like Zoom calling you because it's COVID to talk about what's wrong with my foot," and then they play it up for shock value, which is, you know, like. Pretty weird, but simultaneously, you know, I mean, that's what you're watching for, is the shock value to some extent. You're not watching because you're an enthusiast of podiatry, you know? You're watching because you're like, I wonder what's wrong with this dude's foot. And they take off their shoe and, like, you know, all sorts of conditions going on in there. It's wild. But it's like, it seems like... It makes it seem like being a podiatrist is the easiest job in the world during COVID. Because, like, they can only meet on Zoom. So it's really just like an endless parade of people, like, opening up their... or taking their socks off. And then the doctor goes like, whoa, buddy, that is messed up. Well, when this whole virus thing, you know, ends up being taken care of, why not? There we go. You better come in and get that checked out. Like, that's pretty much every single episode at this point is kind of like, ooh, does it hurt? And they're like, yeah, look at it. Of course it hurts. 4 of my toes are fused together. You think it doesn't hurt? Caves 2, get me out of here. I don't feel good about watching the shows, by the way. And it's not like I watch these shows and I go like, oh, I'm such an enlightened human being. It's kind of just like a modern... you know, circus or something like that, but I can't deny that, you know, when you finish one episode, I'm like, yeah, let's see, whoa, what's going on with her feet, dude? It appeals to the basest nature of humanity, that's all I'm saying. I mean, TLC, all these shows are on TLC, by the way. A&E has Intervention and Hoarders, which at least, you know, they make a spectacle of things, don't get me wrong. But they at least have, like, the veneer of, like, we're doing this to help people. Like, Intervention is a very serious show. There are some points of it where it's exploitative, I would say, for certain. But at the same time, it's a show that's, like, serious about addiction, right? My Feet Are Killing Me is and every other show, basically, on TLC, basically boils down to, like, you won't believe how some people live. And then, you know what? I hate to say it, but when I watch the network, I go, they were absolutely right. I had no idea. I wouldn't recommend it. I think it does things to your psyche. I'm not sure if they're positive or negative yet, but I'm getting twisted up just thinking about it. Should really finally watch the last 2 or 3 episodes of Raised by Wolves. Been waiting on it for a while. Hold on, we got Itchy Eyeball here. Which is not just a lyric from Lady Marmalade. Itchy eyeball, yeah, yeah, scratch, yeah. What percentage of the population do you think can name every singer from Lady Marmalade 2001? Can you do it? I'm gonna give you like 5 seconds here to come up with the answers. Time's up. It's Pink, Maya, Christina Aguilera, Missy Elliott. Missy Elliott, she does the rap part. She goes Moulin Rouge. There's 4 singers though, right? Pink, Maya, Christina Aguilera. I don't know why in my head I can't get Aqualung out. Oh, Aguilera. Stop this. I don't know if I should have taken this weirdo item. I kind of regret taking the item of weird. But it is what it is right now. We're kind of stuck with it. Super Bandage is a huge get. Who did I forget about? Oh, thank you, Gimpy. In Lady Marmalade. Hold on. Lady Marmalade. Lady Marmalade. My phone is very displeased with this request. Lady Marmalade. Christina Aguilera. Lil Kim, dude! I forgot Lil Kim was in that joint. You couldn't escape that song in 2001. I mean, dude, Moulin Rouge was it was a cultural phenomenon. There's no doubt in that. There was a time Baz Luhrmann was very well respected. I'm not trying to hate on Baz Luhrmann, by the way. I'm just saying, you know, I know you might be like, hey, don't be rude to Baz Luhrmann. What do you think's more rude? Being like, I'm not a huge fan of Baz Luhrmann, or what he did to me, which was make me sit through 3 hours of The Great Gatsby starring Tobey Maguire. They should make a... I'm working on this one. Just give me a second. Jerry Maguire remake starring Tobey Maguire as Lizzie McGuire. What do you think? I will say I've just said the words Maguire enough that it really does not seem to have any meaning in my brain anymore. All I can picture is somebody tipping their fedora and going, Maguire. I will take the bomb. Compost everything else. This run is actually like, I've kind of screwed it up. I'm definitely willing to admit it. We've left ourselves in a weird position. I don't think we should have taken Tiny Planet. I think, you know, in my head I was like, Eye of Belial makes it not so bad. And I definitely agree with that. However, it's also just not that good. And I think we're kind of working on borrowed time right now. Which is, you know, just my... Come on, come on, come on. I'll kill you with my familiar if I gotta. It's just my way of saying, like, if we don't get something half decent on this floor, or soon, I should say, this could start to fall apart. Oh, come on! Could start to fall apart in a very negative way. So we'll just, you know, right now, remember, your game gets flipped upside down when you have Tiny Planet. And this is something I should have told myself a while ago, but we're no longer concerned with landing our shots. Landing your shots becomes very secondary. all you do is hold a button down to keep firing, and then move. Oh, I didn't mean to, in my head, I mean, I guess I meant to, but I did it on purpose accidentally, you know what I mean? So we just, instead of focusing on hitting, focus on dodging, and I think just this light philosophical change is gonna, like, completely, is gonna turn the world on its axis, you know? It's gonna be a big positive, is my take on it. I do want to check our shop. Mama Mega, here we go again. My, how could I resist you? I got a question for you. What's your favorite ABBA song? I'm thinking right now. There's a couple. I'll tell you, I do not really like Dancing Queen. Or... No! I didn't realize we were so far ahead. I'm so bad. I'm sorry. I was thinking about ABBA, dude. Sweden. You got me again. Maybe we'll get a teleport card somehow. Dude, this is terrible. This is... And no deal with the devil. This is horrible. It's a shame because I want the Halo, but I really think we just gotta try to push through this one and survive. Oh, that's so bad. That's real nasty. Okay, anyway. You use your noggin. If we use our noggin, we can make this one tick. I'm not really a big fan of Dancing Queen or Mamma Mia. And I think because they're maybe ABBA's two most popular songs, at least at a certain point in time, I think I convinced myself I did not like ABBA. Then when I heard some more ABBA songs in adulthood, I realized that they're actually incredible pop architects who I had besmirched for no good reason. Like, I think Waterloo is a pretty good song. The Winner Takes It All, in my opinion, great song. Wait, there's another... Oh, gimme, gimme, gimme a man after midnight. Dude, there's like... Fernando? There's some good ABBA songs. I'm trying to think. There's one that always comes on the radio. And every single time it comes on the radio, I think to myself, it's a great song. Who is it? And then it's ABBA. And I go, what? Okay, this is... We can't afford to be taking, like, quite literally any damage. This run, and this is the first time this has happened, you know, for a long time. This is really a run where I say to myself, you know, it's more likely that we lose than that we win right now. I do want to give myself a slight bit of credit. I'm very thankful that we did not take some of those deals with the devil earlier that were Curse of the Blind when we had decent HP. No tinted rocks, huh? Okay, this is it shouldn't be that hard, but it's a little touchy. We're also, I mean, I'm happy to have an orbital. But I'm also sad to be guaranteed an orbital when there's a variety of other items that would be more useful right now. Even just a straight up, like, HP upgrade. But I think that this is better than bad. It's good. That's exactly, literally what I was about to say is anything but Krampus is a win. Because this could be our last deal with the devil. But they're... Dude, our orbitals are killing it for us right now. Thank God, dude. Thank you, orbitals! Thank you! Unfortunately, the fact that our shots orbit is crushing us. Okay, so Krampus's head is probably better. That's a pretty useful get for us. I think we should maybe try to find a second secret room. Just don't like this room, quite frankly. And I'm nervous, dude. Like, this one could easily fall apart. All right. Well, I think we're out then. I think we'll just go. Oh, and by fall apart, I mean, like, it's kind of there. It's kind of already fallen apart. It's spicy, don't get me wrong, but I feel like we should look. I was just gonna say, like a single Balls of Steel pill does a ton for us. There we go. Every single room is its own journey right now. We're going to try to get every possible, plausible advantage. We're not going to throw away HP for bad reasons. You know that I Can See Forever pill is actually pretty good too. I think we got to start focusing Isaac a little bit. I still think we try. There we go. There we go. There's a first time for everything. That pills were actually central to our chances here. So what's the cautionary tale here? Actually, oh my. Actually don't feel like we played that badly. Thank God we got our Spirit Art back, but we could have added it on top of what we already got. I don't think we played that badly, like moment to moment, but I think we made some, I mean, we made one very bad decision. You know, you don't really take Tiny Planet. It's just not worth it. I wish that there was a little bit more nuance enabled, but I mean, there are very, I suppose, niche situations where it's a little bit less catastrophic, but I don't think there's too many situations where you're like, yeah, this is my dream item. Lump of coal would help out, but I don't think it would really change things all that much. So the best way, because it's still like, we're basically celebrating the fact that we got like 2 Spirit Hearts on this floor. That doesn't really change the dynamics of the run as much as we would need it to be cocky, for sure. All I would say really is like beating the odds. Cool. Beating the odds and getting a deal with the devil here would mean a ton. Careful, careful. You getting beams? You're getting beams. I mean, our stats are not that good to begin with. We did not get a deal with the devil. At least we can walk out, because like a second secret room would be pretty cool. Ha 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 ha. Okay, well, see you later. Whatever. It is what it is. Still scary, but also still very possible we come away with the good stuff here. We don't know. We don't know. We do know. I would say you just don't take the other pills, because we've gotten so lucky. Like, pretty much every pill we've taken has been not bad. So we know what we're fishing for. You know, we're fishing for more of the Balls of Steel. Another speed up would be fine. Not really what we're actively searching for, but one day I'll learn. One day I'll learn that it's just, you don't need to take Tiny Planet. Even if you have an item that seems like it makes, like, I guess that's the way to say it, you know? There's lots of items that make Tiny Planet better. So if you're stuck with Tiny Planet, you'd be like, ooh, Eye of Belial. That's a big get. However, does Tiny Planet make the other items better? In this case, I would say the answer is like extremely no. Like highly, highly no. We should definitely peep. And then depending on what we get, I really hate to use our last bomb on this. I don't think we can afford to, because any errant damage, like we could be on the razor's edge right now. Thank you, Gimpy. That's huge. Just keep moving. Just keep moving. Let's go. Oh, dude, no! You could have given me... What? I hate to say it, that one's completely my bad, and it cost me 2 hearts. I thought that room was handled. It clearly was not. I dare not give up our chance here. I dare not. Come on, man. You gotta be dead. It doesn't make any sense. Shoot in every single direction. How? 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 No, I don't believe you. You can't still be alive. Just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, let me out of the top side here. I really wanted you to be, like, actually dead there. Because these guys take 25 minutes to kill. But I am happy we did kill 3 of the ghosts in a single Krampus's head play. Kind of surprised we didn't get the 4th, but... I mean, it's hard, you know, I got nobody to blame but myself. Especially for that right there. I don't know what you were thinking. Okay, this is sadly not gonna do it. Because we're not gonna be able to locomote over to you. But every room that we don't die on, we live to fight another day. Sadly, that won't even help us that much in the first place. We can rate every single room, you know, on the likelihood of it killing us. That room was low likelihood. This room scares the crap out of me. This room, the bones are always scary. Never realized how many enemies are here. Okay, now we have a spirit heart potentially available inside of a tinted rock. I'm asking you to give me a bomb here. I know I used the bomb to get in here. I don't know if we would have made it here without the bomb. There is no bomb. Okay. We do have Krampus's head. You know what? Anything you can do to save yourself a little bit of strife. This is a room that you actually do really well on when you have Tiny Planet. You know, we got a lot of coverage here. I'm very happy to see it. Could I get a single spirit heart? Because there's a little inherent risk. It's alright, we're still cruising. A bomb. All I needed was a freaking bomb, dude. I'm getting pinched. Just give me a bomb. No! You had the audacity to drop me a spirit heart. That one's completely my own fault. I can't even be mad. For now, thanks for watching. I apologize. If you enjoyed it, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time, though. See ya!